Imagine waking up on a Tuesday morning, making yourself a coffee, and checking your phone. Before you even leave the house, before you sit in traffic, before your first meeting, your portfolio has already made more money than your paycheck will deliver at the end of the month. That moment has a name. Investors call it the crossover point. And the surprising thing, it happens faster than almost everyone expects if you know what you are doing. Today I am going to show you exactly how to hit that crossover, starting from zero, using 5 principles most people never learn until it is too late. 5 things. The crossover point explained. Your freedom number calculated. The engine you need to build it. The 5 moves that get you there faster. And the mindset that separates the people who cross over from the people who stop just before. The crossover point. Here is a simple picture of your financial life right now. On one side you have earned income, the money you trade hours for. On the other side you have portfolio income, what your investments generate automatically through dividends, interest, and growth. Most people live their entire lives where earned income is the dominant force. They get a raise, they celebrate. They get laid off, they panic. Because all the power sits in that one column. Earned income has a ceiling. There are only 24 hours in a day. But portfolio income has no ceiling. Compounding grows whether you sleep, get sick, or go on vacation. The crossover point is the moment the second column catches up and then surpasses the first. The math is straightforward. If your monthly expenses are $4,000 and your portfolio generates $4,000 per month, you are there. You do not have to quit your job, but you could. That optionality changes everything about how you show up to work, how you negotiate, and how much risk you are willing to take on the rest of your life. Calculate your freedom number. Before you can reach the crossover point, you need a target. Take your monthly living expenses, everything, rent or mortgage, food, utilities, subscriptions, transportation. Let us say that adds up to $4,500 a month, or $54,000 a year. Apply what is called the 4% rule. Backed by decades of market research, this rule says a diversified portfolio can sustain a 4% annual withdrawal indefinitely. Divide your annual expenses by 0.04. 54,000 divided by 0.04 equals $1,350,000. That is your freedom number. Before that number scares you, understand what makes it safe. The 4% rule comes from the Trinity study. Decades of backtesting across every major market cycle including crashes. A portfolio withdrawn at 4% annually, invested in a balanced mix of stocks and bonds, has never run out of money over 30 years in any historical period tested. At $500 invested per month, with a 9% average return, roughly the historical S in the 500 average, you reap 1.3 million 30 years. Increase to 1,000 a month, and you get there in 22 years. Double to 2,000, and you are looking at 17 years. The variable that matters most is not your income. It is your savings rate. That is the lever you actually control. Build the engine that pays you. 'The most reliable engine for most people is simple, low-cost index funds, specifically a total market or S&P 500 index fund. Something like VTI or VOO if you are in the US, gives you exposure to hundreds of companies with one purchase and expense ratio under 1/10 of 1%. Why does the expense ratio matter? A fund but over $3,000 that type of $2,000 never see. The fee you ignore today compounds against you for decades. For those interested in income specifically, dividend-focused ETFs or rate can generate regular cash flow even before you hit your full freedom number. They pay you quarterly or monthly while your portfolio continues to grow. The key is consistency over cleverness. The person who picks boring index funds and auto-invests every month beats the active trader who times the market almost every single time over a 20-year horizon. 5 moves that speed up the crossover. 1. Eliminate high-interest debt first. Paying off a 22% credit card is a guaranteed 22% return. Nothing in the market beats that. Every dollar killing high-interest debt is the highest returning dollar in your financial life right now. 2. Max your tax-advantaged accounts. A 401k with employer match is an instant 50 to 100% return on those dollars before the market does anything. A Roth IRA lets your gains grow completely tax-free. Use these before a taxable brokerage account. 3. Invest windfalls immediately. Tax refunds, bonuses, inheritance. Do not lifestyle inflate. Every lump sum invested today has decades to compound. 4. Avoid lifestyle creep. The most dangerous threat to your timeline is not a market crash. It is raising your spending every time your income rises. Keep your savings rate climbing as your salary does. 5. Create a second income stream. Even $500 extra per month invested over 20 years at 9% becomes $330,000. A side project, freelance work, or rental income. Put the extra straight into the engine. Each of these moves alone can shave years off your timeline. Stack 2 or 3 and you are talking about a decade's difference. The mental game nobody talks about. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people who understand everything I just said still will not reach the crossover point. Not because the math does not work, because they quit. Markets drop 30% and they sell. They get a raise and buy a bigger car. They hit 50,000 saved and feel comfortable enough to slow down. Every one of these is a mindset problem, not a math problem. The investors who actually cross over share one trait. They think in decades, not months. When the market fell 34% in March 2020, it recovered to all-time highs within 5 months. The people who stayed invested made every dollar back and then some. The people who sold locked in permanent losses. Stop tracking your portfolio's daily balance and start tracking your monthly passive income. Even $50 per month from dividends is proof of concept. It becomes 500, then 2,000. The habit of watching that number grow rewires how you think about money. The crossover point is not a lottery ticket. It is a destination, and the path there is boring, systematic, and available to anyone willing to stay on it long enough. The people who cross over did not do anything exotic. They calculated their number. They built the engine. They stayed. Here is your action step for today. Calculate your freedom number. Take your monthly expenses, multiply by 12, then divide by 0.04. Write that number down. That is your target. Then set up an automatic investment, even $50 a month, into a low-cost index fund. The first contribution is the hardest. After that, the machine runs itself. If this video helped you see the path more clearly, hit subscribe. Every week I break down one concept that separates people who build wealth from people who wonder where their money went. The video coming up next covers compound interest, specifically the exact age at which starting late actually closes the gap with starting early. You do not want to miss the math on that one. Subscribe to Mind of Money. See you next week.